front of this machine's way. It's going to give me a couple seconds.
We are live, sir.
That was an epic fail of a bit. Tim, did you forget your line?
I didn't have a line.
Guys, welcome back to another podcast. We did have a line. You're supposed to get on to me for, it was like, are we going to do a podcast? It was like, and we're live, so there's no do-over. You know what? There is a do-over. Here we go. Tape 2. I'm watching the video. Tim's going to be, are we going to do a podcast?
We're doing a podcast.
No, that's not your line. Are we going to do a podcast? You're upset with me for being on video.
Oh.
Right. And action.
You want focus? Get this for free. Free energy. Why are you buying on Amazon?
Action.
$20 for one of these. Is a quick drying lotion.
All right.
Stop sweat.
Are we doing a podcast?
Yes, I'm sorry. Are we live?
We are live.
Okay. All right. Maybe we're not made for the skit world.
First, we need to apologize.
We don't have to. We could just avoid whatever conversation might involve apology. But no, I love a good apology. Go for it.
Well, viewers, boys and girls,
Can't wait to throw you under the bus.
gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen,
Can't wait to throw
we
you under the
apologize
bus.
for not having a podcast last week. We skipped a week. That is why on all the platforms I write, join us live most every Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
It doesn't say that.
It says most.
Most.
That it gives us an out because we were out of town at a gig up in Madison, Indiana, and we left Tuesday morning, and we were traveling at the podcast time, and so that did not allow us to do a podcast. So our apologies if you came to any of our platforms and hoped to see us. Apologies.
Like I just said, I was going to throw Tim under the bus. So this is all Tim. I was here the whole time patiently waiting for the podcast, but I had no way to start
You
the
lie.
podcast. No, Tim tricked me with candy and Tales of Adventure, and I went along on a wonderful, basically what I turned into a vacation. No vehicle time. I laughed to myself when I got the vehicle with you Thursday to go over to Drake's, and I was like, I haven't been in a vehicle all week. I've been walking everywhere because and a lot more than usual, because usually we're like basically Tim owns a number of properties with his partner and good friend who we've mentioned a number of times on the podcast. And shout out to Jimmy.
Shout out to Jimmy.
And the apartment we usually have, they rented out, which is awesome. It's a nice rental to
get some revenue
from that. But it was right in between the two spots that I go to. So like I just
shout
had
out
to walk.
to Drake and shout out to Central Tavern.
It was right in the middle there, so I didn't have to walk very far. Well, since that place is rented out, we stayed in a different place, and which is bigger, which is okay,
It's
a little
got
ways
huge
away.
Kitchen. I mean, it's like you could have a party with 50 people come over to our apartment.
Yeah,
I mean,
but a
big
solid 2 blocks away, a little over 2 blocks, because you got to walk down our own block.
Yeah.
So nice little walk.
Yeah.
But after walking all week, I decided I need something where I get wet, because like I'm so hot. So I went to the local pool, which is just remodeled. There's like a local pool. It's got a miniature lazy rivers. And
Shout
I
out to
did
Glenda. Glenda joining us. I put her on the screen. Sorry to interrupt your
Yeah.
monologue there. Shout out to Glenda. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's a monologue. Ooh, I feel professional.
You're a professional.
Do I call it any guests? Yeah, I was thinking of SNL skit, but anyways, an SNL monologue. No, this is but yeah, so had a great time swimming. It was just like $7 to get in. The place was packed, a lot of kids and stuff and families, but I had a good time. Just water felt great. I got burnt. I was in there for 2.5 hours, no sunscreen, and I got nice and toasty. But it felt good. I mean, I'm still feeling it on my back. My back's a little itchy, but nothing that a few ibuprofen can fix. Because that, which I don't think I'm gonna appeal too bad. It might on my back, maybe a little bit. I don't know, but just like kind of uncomfortable that first, but the pool felt so good. I guess they just remodeled it. Which is funny because it has beach in the title of the place. There's no beach. I mean, it's a pool. They're not even utilizing the river as a swim area. It's a pool.
Yeah, Madison's right on the Ohio River. Beautiful river.
You can't very swim right there.
Well, Jimmy likes to say that there are a lot of people who say they swam across the Ohio River, and he asks them to find out if they're lying because the currents are very strong. And he'll ask them, okay, where did you start? And they'll name a place, like maybe there was a dock or whatever, or under the bridge, started at the left side, or started on the Indiana side underneath the bridge. Where'd you end up? Oh yeah, under the bridge on the Kentucky side. And he knows that no way, because
probably a mile down the road.
Yeah, probably down because the currents are so strong.
Any good swimmer is going to be quite a ways down. Like it's
so. Anyway. Swimming in Ohio River but I have a fantasy about, I like to go there, have some properties there. I'd like to have a boat. Wouldn't it be fun to go out on the river? I mean, I don't know if people do that just for recreation. It's a pretty big river. I mean, it's not a small river.
Got the lake here too, which would be nice. I mean, I love
true.
I mean, if you want to, I'd go in with you on a boat because I don't like the if I was able to share the responsibility of a boat, that'd be so much more fun because white vinegar? No.
Oh, Glenda said white vinegar is really cooking. So,
really cooking?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what you're referring to, Glenda, but I put it on the screen.
Maybe check in with your doctor, make sure you're okay.
No, don't disrespect.
Do you know this person?
Of course, Glenda is probably my best. She's bought so much of my CDs and probably one of my biggest fans.
So she knows.
Do not disrespect.
She knows my sense of humor that I would hope.
Anyway, yeah. So what were you saying? What I interrupted you. My apologies.
Was it Deborah?
Glenda.
Next thing you buy from Tim, I will happily devalue it by putting my signature on it. Be like, I'm going to sell the CD. I signed it, and the set also signed it. So therefore, we will be selling it for -$2.
Segue.
Perfectly
segue.
Oh, perfect segue. Yes.
So I'm doing the Michael Jackson one glove thing.
Yes. I wonder if anybody saw that glove and be like, "What is Tim doing?"
There's a reason.
There's a reason. Excitement.
So, some of you know that. Yes. Some of you know that I have a pre-sale going on my new album, Raised in South Dakota, which was going to be released on July 24th. And a few days ago, we got the shipment of the vinyl. So vinyl these days, there are some vinyl that are, cooling. And yes, I got your Glenda says I meant cooling. And yes, I got your sense of humor.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
White vinegar is really cooling. Talking about your sunburn.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
white vinegar. That would be,
that's
that would be good.
And it was so she did cooking instead of cooling, mistyping. I mean, I mistype about every time I type. So
I love the sound of that because I feel like that would be so much more because you put aloe vera on, but aloe vera is so sticky and icky. Vinegar, I feel like we just got kind of go on just like water in a way. Like, cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anyhow, so Raised in South Dakota is going to be released July 24th, and there's vinyl.
My birthday,
CD,
the
vinyl just arrived. All vinyl these days, you have to order them in advance because they're made offshore, and these were made in the Czech Republic. I'm pretty sure. I think that's where they were. It's an American company, but the factory's in the Czech Republic. And you got to order them like 3 months in advance. And anyway, they came, and I wanted to show you this vinyl because it is so exciting. I mean, it's the first double vinyl I've ever done. I've released 6 albums. Is it 6? Man, they go 6 albums. That's a lot of albums. Is it that many? Wow. I guess it is. Anyway, and this will be the 7th. It's my first double vinyl album. Only 2 other ones have been on vinyl. Born in South Dakota is on vinyl, and Cool Again is on vinyl. I haven't done the other albums on vinyl yet. But double vinyl is a big deal. And this one, you can see the photo. The photographer, a very professional Nashville photographer, took this photo.
I've heard bad things.
My nephew, give it up for my nephew, took the picture
No, thank
on
you.
the cover and on the back as well. Both of those photos were taken. Well, we had some snowfall, which is rare in Nashville. And so
but we get plenty of rain. I don't know, you can't hear very well. We're getting rain right now.
yeah, Glenda noticed the white glove. She noticed it.
Nice. Good thing you didn't wait till the end of the podcast. You're like, why is Tim wearing a white glove?
So this is the vinyl. I'm going to pull out the actual vinyl. That's why I have the white glove on. So this is the inside. And I know you can't see very well on the podcast, but it's, it's thick because it has 2 vinyl.
Well,
this is a double.
You put it on your large TV, you'll see it just fine. You can see. I don't know who else.
Both of these, each disc is a different design,
which is like amazing.
I mean, look at this.
Now that I think about
this
makes me think of a bowling ball a little bit.
Bowling ball. Yeah, kind of like a bowling ball.
But it looks fantastic.
So this is
awesome.
Disc number 1, or the first disc, side A and side B, has the yellow and the red. And
I'd want to display it on the wall after when I'm not playing it.
And this is side side D, C and D, and this is a different spackle. Look at that.
So I mean, you charge at least $50 for these, right?
The pre-sale is only $19.99. After the pre-sale, they're going to go up.
That's amazing. I mean, goodness, I feel like people would have to pay so much more just for a cool design. So that's so awesome on the record.
Yeah, so I'll put in the link after, not live, but well, you haven't gotten it, Glenda, because I haven't shipped them out yet, because they don't get shipped out till the 24th of July. So I don't remember if you purchased the vinyl or not. I know you purchased at least the CD. You may have also purchased the vinyl, but they haven't been shipped. They won't ship till July 24th. And
now you got her all excited because you're holding it and like, nope, can't get till the 24th though. Yep. We get a little pre introduction there.
Glenda asked if she has this one. Well, you don't have it in your hands yet. That was a comment before, because it hasn't been shipped. Neither the CD or the vinyl. These will be shipped. I think I can ship them a couple days before the 24th. I'll probably ship them on the 22nd of July. And so these are a pre-sale that'll count towards Billboard. They'll count on Billboard for charting.
But you can't play it till the 24th, or we will sue you. We have to sue you.
Thank you, Glenda. She said it's pretty, so it
looks amazing. I love it. I don't think I've ever seen a record that looked that cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I spent some time figuring out what colors, and I knew that when I knew it was a double disc. Double discs are just really special, I think. I remember back in the day when vinyl was the main thing. I was in college, and rare was a double disc, and the albums that were double disc. I mean, that was a special. We're on the F1 freeway here, F1 racetrack. We have cars that are drive by. I don't know if you could hear that. Probably couldn't hear that in the mics. But anyhow, it's over 60 minutes of music on the 2 discs, 4 sides, A, B, C, and D. And so I will put that down below in the comments, and you can, Glenda's birthday is July 29th. So it'll arrive, it'll be an early birthday present for you, Glenda. So that's amazing. So that's the commercial. Shall we say sponsored? We are
Sponsored.
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 Tim Wolf,
Sponsored.
sponsored by
Tim
sponsored
Wolf
by Tim Wolf.
sponsorship. Stamp of approval by Tim Incorporations. And Tim listens. That's what the production company I think is called on
Tim Listens?
Tim's Listens.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
on
love that. Tim
Spotify.
Listens.
I have an alternative. I made a what do you call it? A playlist, and I think it's Tim Wolf.
If Tim listens, you should too.
Tim Wolf listens. That's good. Yeah, that's good. So
good stuff, guys. Good stuff. New album, looking great.
oh, here we go, Mrs. I missed this one, Mrs. I wasn't looking on the Instagram. Mrs. Potter, Mrs. S. Cy Potter, Mr. Cy Potter. I'm good to see you on here.
In relations to Harry
said
Potter,
his grandson has a boat on Lake Windermere. Windermere, is that not far?
is that?
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the lake around here, but yeah, there's a good sized lake. Not
Oh, in the UK.
far.
Okay,
UK.
in the UK. They're in the
hey,
UK.
we'll come visit.
I'd
Fire
love
that
to
thing
come.
up.
Oh, I love the
you
UK.
know,
I love
the best kind of
the, you know,
the best kind of boat is a friend's boat.
you know, I've been into a lot of the different. I've spent a week in Greater London area and a couple of times. Actually, thinking about I visited a couple of friends. I had an
Forget
American
how
who was
big it
there
is.
for a week, and my friend
Look how big that lake is.
Lake Windermere. You found it?
Or no, this is the one by us.
Oh,
Priest Lake.
get the right continent, Seth. Are we in the UK or are we in Tennessee? Anyway, yeah, I'm just thinking fondly of my trip to the UK and London. Wonderful town, very expensive town to live in, I believe. And I remember I spent a week there visiting a friend, American, who was stationed there, working for a bank. He was an expat there. And then I remember one time with my good friend Mike, we went and stayed at his friend's house what's it called? On the Tyne. What's the town? Manchester. No, it was north. And we stayed. They were so kind to have us stay at their house. And we toured around. I remember we went to Scotland, went to what's the main city in Scotland? Kind of up on a hill. Edinburgh. And I remember going to Edinburgh and touring the Edinburgh Castle. And we had the guide, and he showed us the crown jewels, the Scottish crown jewels. And I remember he was so emphatic. He said, "The Queen of England will never wear these jewels." Because Scotland had their own, their own king and queen, of course. And then they became part of. Anyway, that just stuck with me. And it was like 30 years ago. And I just still remember the Queen. It was the Queen then. Now it's the King. Will never wear these jewels or this crown. I think it was a crown. Anyway.
Well, I will never be going to Europe. Our ancestors escaped there once, and I shall never return.
You did do a 23andMe. What is your ancestry? I haven't done it yet.
Mostly German, mostly some French. Then little slivers of this and that.
Mostly German and what else?
And French, I think yeah. I think I mean bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up. Let us know. I want to know. Because it'll because your mom is my sister. I've never done it. I want to do it. I have people telling me emphatically and not accepting no that I'm Native American. And I've said, no, I'm not Native American. Yes, you are.
Hold on a second.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on. Wait. You're related to my mother? You're my uncle? Okay.
That bit fell.
I gave it up quickly. I sensed that you didn't find it very humorous. So I gave up quickly. I usually can sense.
I'm a tough sell for Seth. I mean, he tries out his routines on me, and if he can get me to laugh, he knows that they're going to be successful.
Yeah, not everybody's like our friend's daughter. Like, laughs at everything I say.
Yes. Good friend Mike, co-writer, good friend, and his daughter, teenage daughter, came over, they had to pick up a CD for some music that we were working on, and so we were watching. What were we watching? We were watching a basketball game. We were watching something, or no, we were watching UFC. Yeah, you were watching UFC.
Yeah, I was watching the UFC.
We were
Saturday.
watching the women beat each other up on UFC, and
It's mostly men.
the way it just worked out, Mike and I sat, and we're talking most of the time because we talk about music and everything. And Seth was left to entertain Mike's daughter. And Seth can be very, very funny. And she apparently found his humor funny. She was laughing so hard, I was afraid that she wasn't going to be able to breathe. She literally, right? I mean, she was laughing so hard. It was hard for
I
her
got
to
her laughing
breathe.
pretty good, yeah.
You got her laughing. You did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, it
You
makes
did
it
a
easy
great
too. Once someone responds to your humor, if you're on the same wavelength with them as far as humor, you can just keep rolling.
Right. And she, I think you made her night. I mean,
It was fun.
Mike
She made
did-
mine too. I didn't have to. I mean, not everybody interacts with you. And then I don't get to be around teenagers that often. And I really used to work at a boys' home. So I worked with teenagers and always had a heart for teenagers. And my first thought I thought it was going to be was a youth pastor when I first went to Bible school with my thinking, and I even did it for a little while. But
what changed? Why did you?
I just didn't feel it was for me. Getting to experience it firsthand, it wasn't a good fit. I mean, definitely the more like at a boys' home where like you're basically like the parent in a way, that was more of my thing. I've definitely always when I felt a calling was when during a production at my church. So really acting and this kind of stuff and this.
Yeah, you
media
have some
kind of
gift.
stuff
Yeah, you definitely. And
is
we've
where
talked
my
about.
heart
And I know
is.
you wanted to move to LA at one time.
Yeah,
You had the itch, the dream to maybe see if you could make things happen, and move to LA.
I got it within the next year. I want to pull the trigger on that. Where Chip goes to school. That spot.
In LA.
In LA.
You are going to do that.
It would just take a month to at least
Do it.
take the first
Yeah,
class.
do it. What's
And
the
I
name
could
of that?
just so it's Groundlings.
Groundlings,
Groundlings
yeah,
they came out of, which a lot of famous actors and comedians came out of there, and a lot of actors that especially specialize like in skits. And I mean, the show Chit Show is gigantic on YouTube now, and first went crazy on TikTok, and then it's on YouTube and Facebook, and they have I think they're coming up on 300 plus. I think they're over 300 million views now with all their videos. So you get you like-minded people and you take classes, and they're not that expensive. I mean, my biggest cost is just going to be just paying for a hotel or Airbnb for a month. And the classes will just take like that for you could take the beginning classes.
The best thing about it might be the other people you meet.
Oh yeah,
classmates,
too.
And the networking.
Too, just making some, that'd be huge. But so I've done some of those exercises and stuff, and had some in college. I took some classes, and I was involved in part of a big production at my Christian school, which gave me just a glimpse into that world, at which I just loved every bit of it. But one point I was going to move to LA, and then with a friend, and we just didn't pursue it like we should have. It's a crazy move to make, and nowadays, I mean, you can do it from wherever you are. So I mean, if I go to Hollywood to have a plan, already be enrolled in classes, so that'd be great, and maybe try to pick up a manager or something while I'm there, have someone put me out there and get some see what kind of opportunities come about. But
yes, sir.
It'd just be fun
Yes,
to take the classes, really, that alone. And there's even some opportunities here in Nashville area. They do classes. So I could even take some classes here. So maybe I'll do that this summer. I was looking at those, and they only have it. I think I missed them this last month, so I need to look at them for this next month and take the beginning classes. But it's a lot of fun to improvise. That's kind of my thing too. Like I'm spontaneous funny. I don't know how well I would ever do it like stand-up comedy, where like where you have all these organized jokes. That's not really my thing. I think I could more or less, to an extent, and some of my favorite comedians, Big J Okerson, and mostly all he does is crowd work, and I feel that's even my niche, is like crowd work, just interacting spontaneous with people. You got to just think on your feet. I mean, and that's more or less the dialogue that was going along with me and what is his
Kelly
is more or less like a
How you
banter
pronounce it.
back and forth, kind of like you're just saying, you're hearing what they're saying, what's going on in their life, asking them questions about school and stuff like that, and then you know a little bit of defecation, a little, you mess with them, like
Self-deprecation.
self-deprecation. I was like that. I missaid that a little bit there, but yeah, just kind of picking fun with them, and then drawing your own humor from your own experience in life too, and just doing hypotheticals are a big part of that. Just like people will throw that out there, and you do a bunch of hypothetical and be all made up stuff, but it'll just be funny, But yeah, so that's a little taste of what I enjoy. But this is a funny switch up. I was talking about humor to my genealogy. Where does that humor come from? Maybe Europe. 80% Western European, so that's it consists of Austrian and Southern German. That's the German. That I'm almost 40% there. That's 40%. French 15%.
Wow.
Okay, so French wasn't even as much then, because I said France, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
German and French, but I was thinking it was more French than okay. Swiss, southwestern Germany. So this is also in Austrian, 14%. So that's German is in there too. So I am really, and then Dutch, northern Germany, 11%. So really I am like 60% at least, 60 plus. Oh, British and Irish, 7.9. See, the funny thing is too, like, since they update this information because they're learning more and more things, the technology is just amazing. You're learning more and more things as it progresses. So Nordic, I'm 6.5% Nordic, which consists of Danish and Swedish. Mostly Danish I am. So yeah. And then, little pieces, little slivers, like here, I'll give you a little tiny sliver. 2.4% Polish. Oh, I'm a little Polish.
When you said deprecation, it sounded like you said another word.
I think I did.
And
Defecation,
Glenda
which
said
is
good correction. Because the other word you kind of said is not a good word.
I basically said poop.
Yes, you did.
I think we can say poop on here. Okay, we're definitely family friendly, but we all got to poop.
Self poop. You almost said self poop.
I think I did say it, didn't I?
You did. Yes.
I don't think there's any ifs or ands. But yeah,
Self-defecation.
Irish, just straight up Irish, 1.7. Oh, then British and Irish, yeah.
We're losing our PG rating now.
Because we talked about poop. I think we lost our G rating. We'll survive at PG. Parents' guidance suggested. I mean, you see my face, you're gonna instantly be like, I'm gonna be monitoring what's going on this.
Anyway, so what were the last few percents?
Oh, there at the end, there's a little bit of Romanian.
Romanian. Wow, imagine that. Well, that makes sense.
Balkan?
Because, well, my parents' ancestry and half your DNA came from my sister.
We share some DNA, Tim.
Yeah, we do, and because you're my nephew, I'm your uncle. Anyway,
nice to meet you. Heard good things.
They were from a very specific group of Mennonites. Christian faith was very important to them. And they were Anabaptists, if you know church history. And the Amish, it's Mennonite faith. And I don't know why the Baptist is in there, because it's not Baptist, it's Mennonite, but they call it Anabaptist. And the Amish, I believe, are Anabaptist. So they're Mennonite. And so my ancestors and yours from your mom
Mhm.
were Hutterites, and they very similar in faith, I believe, to the Anabaptists. But it's like if you took to the they they didn't believe that modern technology was bad. All the Hutterites, and there's still people living like that. They lived everything in common. They live in basically communes, and but they have the latest and greatest farm equipment, and they have a lot of confinement operations, and so, but they all talk a certain way because they speak German, but they speak a really bizarre. Their German that they speak, anyone from Germany can't understand it. I know this for a fact because there was some land near when I was young. Well, let's see. Well, I wasn't living at the farm, but I was living in New York City, but I was helping my dad, and he wanted to buy this piece of land that was owned by this German guy in Germany. And we had an employee who was an ex-Hutterite, and he spoke German. That's the first language, the Hutterite German. And we were trying to communicate with this guy because we wanted to negotiate. My dad wanted to buy his land. And so we got him on the phone, and Dad handed the phone to the Hutterite and was going to speak German to him. And that lasted about 30 seconds because neither of them could understand a word of each other. Even so, it's technically they call it German. It's not like the German they speak in Germany. So they have their own dialects, I guess. So because they've been here my ancestors came over in 1874. And so in that period of time, how much the language has changed. It's like,
did you have the issue in Japan where like some people had a different dialect of Japanese?
Well, I think what you might be thinking of, so after World War II, a number of Japanese moved from Japan to Brazil. And, the countries that were defeated, a number of Germans moved to Brazil also. And so there's a whole large group of Japanese living pure 100% Japanese living in Brazil. They created their own communities. And I worked for a Japanese company for 4 years. I think this is what you're talking about. I'm not sure. And we traveled to Brazil on business. And I remember we ran into some Brazilian Japanese. And I was learning Japanese at the time, but it wasn't good enough to tell the different accents. And my cohort, my fellow employee who was Japanese, native Japanese, spoke to some of them. And afterwards we discussed it because I was very curious. What was it like? And he said, they're speaking the Japanese that was popular during World War II, and they haven't evolved, because language evolves. And they're speaking a very old-fashioned style of Japanese, and it was odd to speak with them. He said I think he could communicate with them at least, but the slang and the vernacular was radically different. So that's what happens, and I'm sure the same thing happened, maybe even more so, because I think the Japanese in Brazil still spoke Japanese. They kept that language alive, but the Hutterites that came now, and it's been a lot longer time. The Japanese had only been, World War II ended in 1945, so they've only had 80 years or so to evolve, whereas my ancestors came over in 1865. So that's been a lot more, almost 80 years more of time to evolve, and the language changed. So a German speaker, a Hutterite German speaker, could not communicate with a native German speaker in Japan. So
I'm just thinking about how crazy it would be me as a 90s kid trying to speak to a kid in the year 26 with all the things they say.
Yeah.
It just all their different dialogues and abbreviating everything. Like
No cap.
No cap. The
What do they
cap
got so
on
many? They got so
yeah,
many
almost so
phrases.
many of them. A number of them I don't even know.
Even we're living in 2026 and can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that they're like the Amish if the Amish believed in modern technology. In a way, they have Amish people. If you hear an Amish person speaking, I think you can understand that they're different. They speak differently, and they wear the black dark shirts. The men wear the dark shirts with the suspenders. I think the Anabaptists much believe that belts are a sin. I guess. What else could it be? I mean, they all have suspenders. No belts. They have to have a suspender for the men.
It's
You know,
Satan.
you can't-
It's the snake. It's the
it's-
Satan. That's Satan right there. Satan holding up your pants.
Satan, hold up your pants. Yeah. And the men wear dark shirts and suspenders and dark trousers, and then women wear long dresses, flowery dresses, and wear a shawl or whatever you call it. Is it a shawl? And they do everything together. I mean, if you ever get invited to a Hutterite meal, do not say no, because it'll be some of the best food you've ever had. Everything's made fresh. They have great kitchen. They have industrial kitchens, and all the women work in there. I mean, it is very gender specific. If you're looking for gender equality, you do not go to a Hutterite colony. So those are my ancestors. And the reason you said Romanian, I'm not surprised that there might be a little Romanian in there, because they moved a lot. They moved from Germany. They moved to Russia. And the Romanians are, I don't know in detail, but I think the Romanians were gypsies. The gypsies were mainly Romanian, I believe. Don't hate on me if I'm wrong. And so a lot of movement around. And I know the Hutterites moved. They were originally in Germany, and then they moved to Russia, and they were living in Russia. Catherine the Great, under Catherine the Great, they moved to Russia, and then she, of course, no longer was in charge. She died, and they started getting persecuted for their beliefs, and that's around the 1860s, 70s, and they wanted to come to the United States. And actually, one of their leaders came to the United States obviously they had to take a boat in 1870s, early 70s, 1870s. And they actually, whoever was president at that time, I'd have to look up who that was. They met the president on Long Island, New York. Literally some immigrants. But, America was trying to encourage immigrants. The last part of the 19th century, give us your tired, remember that's when the Statue of Liberty was put up. We were trying to get immigrants. And so a president would, you got a whole group of people wanting to come. The president was willing to meet, and they met with the president. There were 3 of them, Hutterites came, and they met with the president. They also toured the United States looking for a place, because they're all farmers looking for a place to farm and settle in. And they went down in Nebraska, and they were in South Dakota, which was the Dakota Territory at that time, and Minnesota, up into Canada, and moved around and checked. And they actually went back. They were here. They were in the U.S. for three months, scouting. Where are we going to go to? One of them was really sick. They have their diary. I have a book that was made to commemorate the 100-year anniversary of of my group of the Hutterites that came, which came they said they came in 1874. 3 different boats. They actually have the names of all the people who were on each boat and the names of the boats. I have the book somewhere. I have it.
It took months to get over it back then.
Yeah, it would have taken months. And my great grandfather was on one of the boats. He was young. And they came and they first settled down in Nebraska, and a bunch of people got sick, and a whole bunch of them died, just illnesses, maybe, different diseases or things that they weren't used to, and their body hadn't built up immunity, who knows. And they decided, we can't stay here. This is not good for us. Maybe it's cursed. I don't know what they said, but they said, we're going to move. So they moved to South Dakota, Freeman, South Dakota. And that's on the prairies. There's not really any trees there natively. There's more trees that have been planted. And they lived in sod huts that they make a hut out of sod. And that was famous.
Kind of they probably just came up with a way to make a house.
Make a house. Yeah, you have to survive somehow. On the prairies of South Dakota, the wind blows. And my grandfather was around about 20. And when he was about 20, around 1905, he decided to, or well, I might have my dates wrong. He decided to move from Freeman. Those of you from South Dakota know Freeman, and move north about 2 hour drive. Well, it would be hour and a half drive by car, and went to an area called Yale, South Dakota. And they all moved up there. And I forgot the key detail. When they all landed in 1874 in Europe, they all lived in communes. Nobody had any personal property. It was like the second chapter of Acts, or Acts in the Bible. All the early church and the first century church, everything was common, and they believed that was the way they were supposed to live. And so they had everything common. There was no personal property. It was basically it's communism by definition. They lived in a commune. No personal property. Everything is owned common. And that's how they lived. And that was one of the reasons they were persecuted in Europe. And they got here in 1875, and they got together and they said, okay, those of you who want to continue in the commune lifestyle, you can do that. Or those of you who want to strike it on your own and have personal private property, you can do that. And some of them, they split. And my great grandfather went with the group that decided they were going to have personal property, and they settled in Freeman, had their own property, and they were all great farmers. That's one thing they're really good at.
So they probably went up north there 2 hours. They probably the best deal on land. Then is probably what brought them to that area.
Probably. Well, that wasn't until my great grandfather, and then my grandfather, his son, my great grandfather's son, Paul Joe Swalter. And I think it was 1905 or so. He was probably 20, very aggressive, around 20. He says, I'm going to strike out on my own. Maybe there were too much competition, and there was a whole group of them that moved north, an hour and a half north, by car, that is. So how long would it take you with a wagon and horse? And they settled in Beetle County, South Dakota, near Yale. And there's a church there to this day called Bethel Church. That is where both of my parents were buried. My granddad is buried, and I grew up in that church, Bethel Church. It's still a Mennonite church, and most of the attendees that go there are all Hutterite descendants, because they all of that community, that part of Beetle County, every farmer has a German last name: Hofer, Cheddar, Kleinsasser, Walter, Gross. These are all German names that were Hutterite names. And their ancestors came as my grandfather did. And they're still it's a very tight-knit community. All of them are hard workers. I mean, that just comes with it. And they're all great farmers for the most part. Not a lazy, you can't be lazy. They wouldn't allow you. They would shame you. And they supported each other, and very successful. And there's a whole community. Now, they're also still groups of the descendants of those who decided to live as a commune, and they're called colonies. And there is a colony in Carpenter. It was like just a couple miles from where I grew up, and they don't call them communes; they call them colonies, and they still live that same way. And they're the ones who have the dark shirts and the suspenders, and they have the great cooking and whatnot. And my aunt, my dad's sister, actually taught school, because they have to be educated. They don't go to public school. They have the school there at their colony. And my aunt had gone to school, got her teacher's degree, and she taught school in these colonies, and for a while. And they raise vegetables. They have huge gardens, and the food is amazing, just amazing food. Everything fresh. And that's, like I said, if you ever get invited to a meal, they make fresh bread. Man, my mouth is watering just thinking about it.
Got me.
Just great food. Just great
food.
Some
good tonight.
And everything fresh, no preservatives, all that. And they, their way of life. And it's not for everybody. Some of them, like I had an employee they call them runaway colonies, because they leave. They decide it's not for them. And my one employee, the one who I handed the phone to, he was a quote unquote runaway colony. That's a derogatory term, and I don't like that term, but that's what they were called. I don't know if they're still called that, but they're very industrious. So when they do leave,
I feel the term they usually use is probably worse than that.
Sorry,
I feel like the term they usually use is worse than that. Even
could be. I don't know. And so if they leave, they're ostracized.
Yeah,
often.
exactly.
You know, you're not supposed to,
that's the word
because
I'm
they
thinking
believe
of.
if you leave the colony, you're going to hell. Then similar to Amish. I think it's very similar to Amish. I think they've loosened up their strictness on that, and they've even allowed some people to come back, I believe. And I know that I known some who left, and the ones who really had difficulty were the wives, because they had this whole community of women that they'd work together. They'd do everything together. They'd sew together. They would do all these, gender specific tasks. And they had this whole community of women that they were spending all this time. And suddenly they're at home and they're alone, and their husband is out, doing whatever, maybe farming or whatever. And he's got his band of guys he works with, and she with the kids, and it's very lonely. So sometimes the wives want to go back because they miss that life. But the one thing I will say, the most difficult thing that even my employee admitted, because you live where money is something that only the bosses have. So you're a worker there. You don't have the concept of money. You don't understand how to have a budget. You don't understand.
Oh my gosh, you have no way of managing money skills.
Right.
Managing
they,
skills.
They leave and they suddenly
Which
they
sadly,
get some money, and they have no, even worse than the average American.
Even worse than that's
we're
what I was
not
going
taught
to
how
go.
to handle money. That's something that many people say. We should be taught how to handle money. That's not something, how to budget, how to control your
Hardly in
spending.
the school system at all.
The schools should talk about that, and they don't. Well, imagine at least the born money. They probably never even seen a dollar bill, or I don't, maybe
$1
that much. Or
take your hat off, boy. That's $1. I never seen $1.
What's that from? I know that's
A Million Ways to Die. It's a Seth Rogen movie.
So so they have trouble. They have adjustment. They have a terrible time adjusting to, money. What is that? How do you use it? How do you budget it? How do you use it? And everything was provided for them in the colony, and it's not a bad life. There are people who love it. I mean, we got oh my gosh, I'm sorry to tell you, we got the camera coming in and out a bit.
Well, we're about done. We'll just wrap it up.
It's been doing it the entire time, and apologies. I thought I had fixed that.
Zooming in now?
No, it's just going a little bit. It's good right now at this moment, but doggone it, still got some bugs. But I think it's not nearly as bad as it has been in the past.
Yeah, it's all right.
47 minutes is what we've been doing. Is that enough?
Yeah. And I was like, anything over 40 is good for me.
For me?
Yes, sir. We appreciate you guys as always. Hopefully you enjoyed all these insights into South Dakota world. Appreciate you guys listening and watching. Feel free to share the podcast on Facebook, YouTube. Follow us on we're on Apple, Spotify. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and give us a follow. Shoot us a message. We're happy to answer any questions, and we will see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Okay, I'm ending Instagram first, so we're still on YouTube and Facebook. I did it backwards this time.
I don't care. I'm upset with you. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so any last words you want to say till next week?
$1? I never seen $1. I'm working on my acting. Sorry. Me. Father.
Red leather.
Yeah.
This is bonus only for Facebook and
you're
Facebook and YouTube.
No, you're welcome.
You're getting the bonus.
You're welcome.
Instagram isn't getting this.
You're welcome. Stitch that. Post it.
See you. Bye.